Welcome back. This video is going to be about the brake upgrade that I'm doing to my 91 Honda Civic standard. I'm going to be using the fast brake upgrade, which is just the adapter kit for the EF/DA Integra. They're the same part number. And I will be converting the rear drums to rear disc. I am using a 1991 CRX rear trailing arm that I picked up from my local junkyard. So in this video, it is not going to be a how-to video because there are a lot of videos out there that covers that already. I'm just kind of going to skim through it and show the parts and then after the install. So it'll be like a before and after install. And I decided to just go ahead and do this brake upgrade in the middle of December here in Minnesota, and it's very, very cold right now. I figure I'd go ahead and get the brakes done, and that way when I put in the better engine in this car, I will have the stopping power for the better engine. And for me, drivability is more important than horsepower, because without drivability, you can put a crazy amount of horsepower into the engine and you won't be able to drive it on the road course. So first things first is drivability. So that's why I'm working on the brakes. And so before I get to the video, I just want to say that I'm not a professional at doing videos. I'm not a YouTuber. I just do this for myself, so I can always look back on all my project stuff, and also for my son. This project here is a father and son project. You may not see my son in the videos a lot because he's camera shy, but he is helping me out when he can. So if you're here watching the video, I hope you enjoy the video. And again, this is a father and son project, and hopefully year 2026, when I start tracking this car again, hopefully the brake upgrade will make some improvement. Hopefully I'll save enough money to do an engine swap on this Civic here. It is currently still running on the factory D15 B1, and I have converted to multi-point, so it helps a little bit, but it still doesn't have the power on the straightaway. It is a very, very fun car, and I love this car. I love everything about it. It's a great car. Yes, it's front wheel drive, but I don't care. It's a fun car. So enough talking, and let's get to the video. All right, so my son and I are getting ready to do rear disc brake conversion on the 86 Civic. These came off from 90 CRX SI. Picked it up at my local junkyard for 14 bucks each. Pretty good deal. You usually go for a super expensive price, but we got it for a pretty good deal. We're gonna press out these bushings and press in the new ones. Alright, we got the trailing arm on the press. Here's the tool that I'm using, and here is the old bushing. So we're going to press this out. Alright, we got this one here pressed out. Time for the second one. There it is. We'll put in new white line bushing. I'm gonna press this in. All right, the bushings are pushed in. Now we just have to put these in. We should be ready to put this into the Civic. And this is the driver's side. So my nephew, my son, remove the driver's side. Here's the drum trailing arm. And here is the disc from a 90 Honda CRX. Here's the new bushing in. We will install this onto the Civic. Alright, so we're getting ready to install this into the Civic. My nephew and I will install this, and my son will be recording us. I will not show you a step by step because it's just straightforward, nothing difficult. So we're going to take this to the vehicle and then we'll show you the finish result. All right, there it is, driver's side.
So here I have my dad and my cousin. So we're going to do a rear disc trailing arm from the driver's side, and we're doing a rear drum disc conversion.
Alright, my nephew and I got the rear trailing arm in. We are going to test out the brake rotor, caliper. Everything all fits well, then we will go ahead and tighten up everything, and then we will install the new steel braided brake line. Alright, now I have the SI CRX trailing arm installed. New brake rotors, new brake caliper, new Hawk HP Plus pads, and new steel braided brake line. Everything looks good so far. Now I'm just gonna torque everything up and then move on to the next side. Alright, so now I'm working on the passenger rear. Here's the SI CRX rear trailing arm. Got new brake rotors and Goodrich steel braided brake line for the rear, and I'm running Hawk pads and new brake caliper. Alright, let's remove this drum and switch it over to disc. Alright, so out with the old. Both drum trailing arm are out. And the rear passenger side trailing arm is in. Now I'm just gonna put the brake caliper bracket, brake caliper, and then torque everything up. And then I'll move on to the front. Alright, everything's all torqued. The brake caliper is in. New brake pads, steel braided brake line. You can see it. That is it for the rear. I'm gonna save the brake cable for last. But this is the last one. I'm gonna remove the factory brake caliper, pads, rotors, I'm going to be using the fast brake adapter kit using 11-inch Volkswagen Corrado brake rotors and the EX/DA Integra calipers. So this is comes with the bolts for the bracket, and then the brake caliper bolts and washer. Alright, I'm just going to show you real quick how the fast brake adapter kit works. I'm sure there's a lot of videos out there, but I'm just showing you how this will adapt to the 90 Volkswagen Corrado brake rotor and the 90 Civic EX caliper and or the DA Integra caliper. They're pretty much the same part number. So here's the bracket from fast brake. Comes with 2 bolts. You want to have this like this, and then the bolts right into it. I apologize for the sound in the back. That's my heater running. It's Minnesota, so it's very, very cold today. So that's pretty much it. Just put the bolt in, the bracket, now the kit do come with O-rings. If you do need it, it'll go behind the brake rotor, right, to prevent it from like movement. But I don't think I need it because this rotor here fits in just fine. Alright, once it is torqued down to 45 foot-pounds of torque, go ahead and put in your rotor. I'm just going to use 2 lug nuts to hold down the rotor so I can install the brake caliper. Alright, so the lug nuts are kind of loose, but like I said, the kit comes with 2 O-ring spacer, I guess, so you can go behind the brake rotor. But I mean, once it's in, there's not a lot of movement, so I don't think I need this. Because I did try to put this behind the brake rotor and it would not sit flush on the hub, so I'm just gonna go roll with this. Alright, now I'm going to mount the brake caliper bracket with the 2 long bolts that fast brake provided with 2 washers. Alright, so I was trying to put on the brake caliper bracket and it wasn't lining up because there was way too many material right here and it would hit the head right here. As you can see, there's some marks right here because it wouldn't clear. You see that? Wouldn't clear because too many material on this bracket. So I used my bench grinder, grind up some material right here, as you can see, and some right here. All right. And then that way you mount it on, it will clear the head of the boat. Alright, I'm just gonna mount it on just to show you. So I had to shave that material so that it can clear it. As you can see, it now clears the head of the boat. Same with here. I don't know if you can see it, but if I can get it to focus. It like barely clears it. So now I should be able to mount this bracket on. Alright, now that it is mounted, torque it down to 56 foot-pound of torque. Alright, everything is mounted on. The new brake caliper, bracket, brake line, rotor, everything's all torqued down. And there you have it, the fast brake adapter kit for the 11-inch brake rotor from a Volkswagen Corrado, like a 9091 Volkswagen Corrado, 9091 Civic EX or a DA Integra. They're the same part number. Again, you just have to shave off the material off the bracket in order to fit in properly, and that way you can torque it down to 56 foot-pound of torque. And that is it. Alright, I'm almost done for the day. Alright, I'm calling it a day. It's been a long day for me. I'm very slow at working on cars because I like to take my time, make sure everything is done properly. So as you can see, the front brake, big brake is on. Same with the driver. Rear disc brakes. Again, using CRX SI trailing arms, CRX brake caliper, rotors. Here are the old standard C Civic drum trailing arm. Those are out. And the passenger rear, everything's done. The next step is to replace the cable and the master cylinder. Yeah, there it is. That's it. We'll work on the car tomorrow. I am going to install the 1516 master cylinder by Sincere Parts. I'm going to bench bleed it and then install it. Alright, I'm going to bench bleed this. I am using StopTech 600. But before I start bench bleeding it, I'm having some beer. Alright, well, I just started and I already finished my beer, so let's continue to bleed this. Alright, so my heater is turned off because it's just so noisy, but in any event, this master cylinder is bled The line looks pretty solid. I'm happy with it. So now it's ready to go in. So let's remove this and install the new master cylinder. It is a 1516 master cylinder, so it's like a 9091 Honda Civic EX master cylinder. All right, so the old one is removed, and now we'll install the new one. All right, the new brakes master cylinder is installed. Brake brace is back on. Now my son and I are going to bleed the brake system. So now all the brakes are bled, and we're moving on to the brake cable. Finally got the e-brake cable out. I didn't have to lower the gas tank, but I got it out. I'm lit, and I can't even tell you how the heck I got it out, but it's out. And now I will be installing the new cable. I will be installing the DEA Integra passenger side brake cable. So here's the new passenger side DEA Integra e-brake cable. As you can see, it comes with a new boot. When you're removing these factory cable, it's just easier to just remove everything, including the boot and the retainer here. So they do come with the new boot. So let's get this installed. And as for the driver's side, the DA Integras are discontinued and no longer available through Rebesto. So I ordered a 1999 EM1 Civic driver's side cable. So we'll see if this works. All right, so some people say that it worked, and I guess I'll find out and see if it works. So the emergency brake cable are in. The passenger side is the Integra, the DA Integra, and then the driver's side is the EM1 Civic. People say that the DA works better, but I don't know. In my opinion, I think the EM1 Civic cable works better. But here how it looks like. I need to figure out this bolt right here because I have to adjust it and it will not clear the bolt. So I think I'll figure that out later. I think I'll get like a round head, like a ball type head bolt instead of the 12 mil socket type bolt. So cable is in. I just need to readjust it, but it's in. And here's the Civic. All right. So I am having clearance issue with this one here when it's adjusted out. This is one of the other bolt, and it won't clear the bolt once it goes in there. So when I pull the e-brake and it goes back, it will hit the bolt. So I don't know, maybe I'll tighten this up and hopefully it'll stay secure. or I'll have to find a bolt that will clear this right here. So I'll figure that out later, but at the moment cables are in. Again, this is the DA Integra for the passenger side from Rebestos, and they are discontinued on the driver's side, so I went with the 99 EM1 Civic. My honest opinion, I think that the Civic works better. Alright, so here's what I did to resolve this problem. I went to my local hardware store, got me this type of bolt. There's the size. And it's installed. So when I release the cable, it will just glide right over it. So you won't catch like it was before. Here's the passenger side. Cable is in. Right in here. And here's the driver's side with the EM1 cable. Goes from here to here. Originally this boot here was right here. I moved it to there, and I just use a small little worm clamp just to secure it in place. And so far so good. I just need to kind of secure the rest of the e-brake cable so that they're not loose underneath. Alright, so I am finally done with the e-brake cable. This is the passenger side. Again, it is onto the caliper. Just kind of showing you how I secure the cable in place. So it kind of goes through here. Here's the boot. Let's get underneath the car. I took off this, well actually no, this is the tab, mounting tab that came with the DA Integra. So it's mounted on here. And then I mounted the secondary tab onto the gas tank because there was a hole here, so I just put a nut on here and then the bolt behind it goes over the cable. I'm sorry, the heat shield. And then right in there, if you can see it. So this is the passenger side. Cable secured there. Right there. Onto the brake caliper. And here is the driver's side. This is the EM1 cable. Here's the cable. Goes through there. Let's get underneath it. So this mounting tab here, I took this off from the original cable from the drum. I just put it in here. Both tip there. Just kind of goes here. I just zip tied this in place here and to the heat shield and into the handle, the e-brake handle. So yeah, it goes here underneath over the tank strap. I just zip tied it to secure that. There's that right there. right there, secure, and into here, right into the brake caliper. I'm just going to show part numbers on the rear disc brake conversion and front big brake upgrade. So these are part numbers for the 9091 CRX SI, and this is the brake rotors for the CRX SI. This is the front brake rotors for the 9091 Volkswagen Corrado. This is the driver's side EM1 brake cable, and this is the passenger side DA Integra brake cable. I personally like the EM1 more because they fit in a little bit better. And this is the front brake caliper from a DA or EX Civic. Now these are 9091 CRX SI knuckles. I have these so that I can use these for the swap, and we will see what I will be swapping when I have enough money. Everything's completed. The only thing that I have not done or replaced is the brake proportional valve, because according to Fast Brake, doing a rear disc brake conversion, bigger brake caliper in the front, the brake proportional valve is not necessary to change out. So I'm going to leave that alone. I have to wait until spring to drive the car and see if I need to change it or not. And if I do, I got one already. And my son and I will continue to load up more videos as the project continues, and whatever part that we add to it or upgrades. Well, this is the end of the video, so if you made it this far, thank you for stopping by.